In terms of Trevon, I mean, he's still in the ramp-up period. I think he does feel healthy. I know he wants to play, but at the end of the day, it's we have to do what we think is in the best interest of not just him, but also the football team. And
Wonk, 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 wonk. If they can actually pull off this fly. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, y'all. We got an interesting presser today. Brian Schottenheimer is addressing some of the most talked about topics in the Cowboys community right now concerning Logan Wilson and Kenneth Murray Jr., Trevon Diggs. And he had some very interesting things to say about Trevon Diggs. And all I'm going to say is, I told y'all asses so. And we have updates on CeeDee Lamb and some of our other injured guys that we really need back at this point. Let's get right into this one, as this is sure to be one of them ones. Y'all be sure to subscribe as we are on the road to 45K, man. If all of y'all that's watching this video right now that aren't subscribed currently, just subscribe, we would be there. I promise we would. Help your brother out. HBO. Help a brother out. Man, shut your up. Now, I'm going to just say this. I reserve the right to go full shiesty mode at some point in this video because I saw some clips from, just some excerpts from this press conference, bro. Now, I might have to slide this shiesty on all the way, but until then, let's get right into this one, bro. Brian Schottenheimer on a variety of topics.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. Coach, Monday, were you cheering for the Chargers, and who did you have cheering it out? Was that Al, or did he come back and cheer with you? Or just,
I actually did see the last couple minutes of the game, but I was watching. I wasn't cheering. And we have control. We got to control, but when the ball was intercepted, I was a little happy.
Does that change anything? I know every time we got
you and all of us, Schotty, we all was hype about it, boy.
a shot now. This is give you all just another extra punch that, hey, this thing is real. We can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was real all along, anyways. And you should never know in this business. I've been around too much to, try to figure it all out and all the playoff predictors and things like that. We're just focused on having a great day today. It's Competition Wednesday, and we'll have the pads on out there today and get back to running around and striking each other a little bit. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Just from an injury standpoint, can you give us an update on Diggs and Guyton, and what is Diggs, Guyton, Lamb for sure, but what does Diggs need to do?
God damn! How many questions does Clarence Hill get, man? Clarence Rack is doing a buy one, get three free. What the hell?
Last week he told us he was healthy, he felt better than he felt at the start of the season.
Everybody else go home. The Negro that asked all the important questions. I'm just playing. Come on, bro. Damn, Clarence.
What does he need to do to get on the field?
Well, first, a couple things. With Guyton, we'll see how he moves around today. He's making progress, but we'll see. He's got to get out there and do football. CeeDee is progressing nicely through the process, the protocol. I think he's got one or two more things he's got to get done, but I feel good about that. And in terms of Trevon, I mean, he's still in the ramp-up period. I think he does feel healthy. I know he wants to play, but at the end of the day, it's we have to do what we think is in the best interest of not just him, but also the football team. And
What? Wonk, 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 wonk. Apologize to me right now. Those of y'all that's been on my ass about Diggs and acting like I'm hating on him. Oh, you're just hating. You just hating on Trevon. Is Schotty hating on him too? You goofy asses. Man, people got to lose that you hating on them crap out of people's vocabulary, bro. You got to be able to expound upon why you're seeing what you're seeing better than that. You're hating because now you look stupid. Keep it going, Schotty.
When you miss time, the ramp-up period is good not just for your body, but for your mind and figuring out some of the defense. And there's some new faces in the huddle and things like that. So, again, love him as a player, but ultimately he's got to show us he's ready to do everything the right way.
Love him as a player, but ultimately he has to show us he's ready to do everything the right. Yeah, let me go ahead and just fix that for you, Schotty, because I see what type of timing you on, my boy. Whoa, Schotty like, hey, man, I'm coming up to the end of my first year. We're about to really start making some changes. I feel like I have a good grasp of this thing. My owner is probably trusting me more. My owner is probably like, hey, I believe in this guy, so now I know I have a little bit more latitude with how I'm handling different situations. And Schotty has been and identified this dude was part of the problem, bro. Part of the problem. Is he probably a better option than having Marquise Bell or anybody else like that covering the other team's best receivers? Probably, because that's his job. That's his profession. That's what he's supposed to be. At least he's supposed to be. But when you are trying to build a championship culture, buy-in is important. Doing the right things even when nobody's watching, when no one's listening. Saying the right things when no one's listening, when no one's around is important. I've been trying to tell y'all asses, y'all need to start, man, subscribe to the channel, and y'all need to start paying more attention to what I'm saying, because more times than not, if I have a very strong opinion about something, there's a reason I have a strong opinion, and I will never be the type of person that betray people that try to give me information to help me out either. So I'm just going to say that.
Brian, Todd Archer with ESPN, when you say show us doing everything the right way, is that beyond is that in the meeting rooms and things like that as well? Or
Everything, just consistency through everything. I mean, he's no different than Dak Prescott or Jake Ferguson or Kenny Clark. Just continue to do everything the right way, and I thought last week was a good first step, and hopefully this week's even better step. And if it is, then you'll see him out there.
your run game efficiency, I think it's in the Detroit or the Philly game, it was 41 yards on 2 carries. KC was 60-something yards on 2 carries. How do you get your efficiency of your run game back to where you want, where it's not just big plays?
Hey, Schotty, hey, bruh. Schotty done took the gloves off a little bit. Now I'm about to start telling it how it T.I. is. I'm about to start telling it how it T.I. is. That's what Schotty about to do, bruh.
Are carrying it.
He said it's almost end of the season. I'm about to start having to make some changes, looking at personnel, really evaluating who I want to come into my next year with this thing. He about to start telling it how it is. Telling y'all, bruh.
Yeah, again, I think, the one thing we went into the Detroit game about was wanting to win first down, Todd, and we certainly weren't able to do that. But the biggest thing is sustaining blocks. I think that's what we talked to the guys about today. Actually our targeting, our identification of the front and what we were trying to do was good. We didn't sustain blocks very well. And that's where we need to be better. We need to strain to finish. And we're going to be challenged this week with a defense led by Coach Flores that's very multiple, and they're going to do a lot of different things. But the biggest thing I would say would be just it's the last push in the strain and the finish of getting guys covered up a little bit longer to let the backs be able to press the hole and puncture the defense.
John Machado with The Athletic. From your perspective, your first season as the head coach, do you guys have to make the playoffs for this to be a success in your eyes?
Yeah, I think absolutely, but I don't think that's the only thing we're judged upon, but that's what we want. You can't sit up here and talk about winning world championships, and if you don't make the playoff, you don't have a chance to win a world championship. So, again, winning's the number one objective. After that, it's building the culture. There's things that as we get through the season and the season ends, which it will end at some point, we'll look back and there'll be good things and there'll be bad things. And the good things will, find ways to keep those things going, and the things that we have to correct, we'll find ways to improve them.
And then saw that Dak gave you the shiesty to wear at practice and that hard
Shiesty Schotty!
Yeah, I didn't really like it. I couldn't breathe. Yeah, I don't know why those guys like it so much, but I thought, hey, this is the cool thing going.
I couldn't breathe. Schotty, your head probably too big for that, but you do got one of them big waterboard-ass heads, Schotty. You might need an extra large shiesty, Schotty. You needed a bigger size. That bug was probably fitting around your neck like a rope.
Hold on, let me try it. It's kind of like the 6'7" thing a few weeks ago. I'm a hip guy, but yeah, I didn't really like it. It didn't stay on very long.
And how much are you monitoring, I guess, the Hard Knocks thing when the episodes come out, or do you not really watch?
I really don't. People send me things and stuff like that. But again, I will say this. I mean, they've been great. The guys, they have a job to do. The production people have been amazing, and they kind of fit right in with us. And by this point, you're just kind of used to it, and you don't think too much about it. So again, kudos to them and NFL Films and HBO and everybody that puts it on.
Nick Harris, Fort Worth Telegram. Do you expect David Clowney to practice today?
I think so, since Clarence didn't ask about him. I think that, yes, I expect him to do some things.
Not for real, Schotty. Dead ass, Schotty. Clarence asked about everybody, bro. He stole everybody's question. Get on his ass, bro.
He's doing a lot better, and I feel like he's progressing nicely.
You guys have been alternating Tolbert and Mingo on the active list the last few weeks. What do you want to see from
Clarence don't realize, bro, his goofy ass definitely feels like everyone's laughing with him. And everybody may very well be laughing with him to a degree. But make no mistake about it, they're also laughing at how goofy this old man is. He's like the old man that lives on the block that's easy to pick on. That's who he is, bro.
Guys to be the cemented guy in this
He wants to be cool with the youngins, so he gets all the practical jokes played on him. He's like, I got me that time.
Just kind of maximize the opportunities, kind of take it over. It's something that we kind of look at each week, and late in the week we kind of make a decision. Special teams is a huge part of that. Like our fifth receiver's not really, quite honestly, playing as much as we'd like in terms of offense and special teams. So it's the balancing act of, okay, well, who had the good week of practice on offense, and then who can help, Nick with special teams. And so those are the big things that we have to talk about each and every week, and it's a fun battle for us to look at each week.
You were in San Diego when Phillip Rivers came into the league, and now he's somehow finding his way back in. When you heard that, what were your emotions around that?
Man, he must hate coaching. He must. I don't even know how they did. I'm sure they did well, but I'm just happy for him. I mean, he loves football, man. He does, and
Nick, with all due respect, Nick, quit. Bro, you always asking these warm, fuzzy questions ain't got shit to do with the Cowboys or what we doing this week. We ain't playing the Colts or the Chargers this week, fool. We play the Vikings. Why are you asking Schotty about Phillip Rivers in a Cowboys press conference? They won't play the Colts no time this year, bro. How is that an important question that's worth? You know what? Clarence, continue to take Nick's questions. Continue to ask all the questions, because that's the type of questions other people come. Bro! And I use... I'm only pointing out because he do this a lot, bro. We react to down there every press conference, y'all. So those of y'all that have been watching these videos with me, like you'll notice a trend of certain stuff that I'm pointing out, and I'm like, bro, he does this a lot, and this one was completely fucking random. This was some, you see Schotty and passing in the hallway. Hey, Schotty, what do you think about Phillip? Why'd you need him to give you an answer about Phillip Rivers in this press conference that's for divulging information about the Cowboys and the Cowboys' upcoming game to the fan base, bro?
His ability to see a football field was unique and special.
Goofy, bro.
I know one thing, he can get out his hand.
It is what it T.I. is. Y'all want me to be the villain so bad, I will be the villain. That's okay. I can be hated by my peers and loved by the people that's seeking true and genuine information of what they trying to follow, bruh. That's fine. But I'm going to call it out every time when y'all do goofy stuff.
Pretty quick, so he might not be able to move. He really never could move. You probably hear that, but he never really could move. But boy, he could get the ball in his hand fast. So I'm sure he hasn't lost his.
And you have two options: either acknowledge that the stuff I'm saying is legitimate, it has actual legit, it has real reasoning behind it, and it's a good point, or ignore it, and try to go harder with the goofy questions and make yourselves look bad and make yourselves look more inept. Two real options there. Or just assume I'm full of it and no one agrees with me. And that option is cap. You being delusional with that one.
Quick release.
Tommy R. Cowboys.com. Aaron Jones, the last couple times he played the Cowboys, he was just kind of one doing that.
That so far is in the running for worst questions of the press conference this time. We're going to start doing that. Every reaction we do, we're going to start keeping tabs with who asks the worst question during that press conference. Nick Harris has the trophy right now, even though Clarence Hill asked 18 questions to start the interview.
Level. What have you seen from him this season and maybe in some of those games in the past about what's it going to make him do that?
Yeah, I mean, got very good vision, very good acceleration, but I think it's his quickness and the ability to find and get in and out of cuts and press holes, and he's kind of a slasher, time when you watch him run. And again, I just think they're running the ball really well right now. I think he's 4.6. I think Mason might be averaging 4.7 a carry. So they're certainly going to come in here and want to establish the run just because they're really running it well. But I've just been a big fan of
thank you, Tommy Yars.
Aaron, since he got in the league with Green Bay, and he hurts you a lot of different ways, right? Catch the football out of the backfield, and very versatile player that's playing at a high level.
And you mentioned Flores. You played a lot of defenses this year. The disguise coverage is blitz a lot. What makes his version of sort of that line of defense different?
They're very multiple. You can see, how he's taken the bones of the operation that he learned from Bill, in New England, and how he's put his stamp on it. What I love about Brian and what he does is, like, if you look at them last year, they're a little bit different than they are this year. They're still very multiple. Look at their roster. He has a affinity in a good way for veteran players. Why? Well, they know football. They're smart. They can be multiple. They can make adjustments. They do as good a job as anybody of what I would say automating formations based on if you get in a certain look, they're going to get to something specific. If you get into a different look, as simple as the back's offset in the gun and near or far, they're going to get to different things. And so you can't do that with young players. Right? You can't. It's harder to do that with young players. Outstanding defensive mind, and he's very convicted.
Scott Erickson with the AP. First-year head coach building a program. How important is a 4-game finish, regardless of what the playoffs look like?
I think it's always important. I think, we actually talked for the first time. I always talk about can't win the game the first quarter, second, third, and fourth. We talked a little bit about this, and we talked about heading into this fourth quarter. Let's look at the season in that way. And I think we were 1-2-1 in the first quarter. We were 2-3 in the second, and then now in the third quarter we're 3-1. What's that mean? It means we're playing better. It means we're playing more consistent. It means we're doing things at a higher level, a higher standard. But again, Minnesota is our focus. Minnesota is my focus. But, like I said, at the end of the day, we're going to be judged on wins and losses. And so let's start by getting the first one in the fourth quarter.
That was a great way to look at it, and it kind of coincides with how I said about looking at seasons in 3 different thirds, right? But that was a great way to look at it. If you break the season down into quarters, 1-2-1 the first 4 games, 2-3 the next stretch of games, and then 3-1 so far this next stretch of games. That is indication over an extended period of time. That is an indication of progression, and that is a very positive thing that we all need to kind of take into account, regardless of if they can actually pull off this fly. Regardless of if they can actually pull off making it into the playoffs or not.
It's Minnesota.
Garrett.
Here, put LCD.
It's still there.
Ryan, you've been around Dak for a few years.
See him rubbing his
How do you feel
hands.
like you've seen him evolve with?
Hold on, I'm literally watching this fly rub his hands, and y'all can see it. I know y'all can see it. He's rubbing his eyeballs. He got his nasty ass lips on my damn. He got his nasty ass lips on my mic, and bro is really just sitting here chilling. Bitch, damn, I missed. Paid actor, bro. Paid actor. Let's go.
Getting to answers and really, freeing himself up when he's blitzed.
Yeah, elite level. I don't think he was ever bad at it, but I do think he's more confident in it now. I think that comes from time. I think that comes from we try to keep the solutions pretty simple. I'm not a guy that thinks you got to have 8 different ways to block up cover 0 or 8 different ways to handle, double-edged blitzes and things like that. I think you've got to have a handful of things that you trust and you believe in, and I think he owns those. And I think it's been evident, watching him perform versus some of the, tough looks that we get. And he has the answer, whether it's throwing hots or throwing blitz side adjust or getting to certain checks for certain coverages. But we'll certainly be tested this week with with Coach Flores and this defense.
And he ain't lying. I know a lot of people just automatically counting up these next 4 games as it should be wins for the Cowboys. I'm gonna be honest. This Vikings game makes me more nervous than the Chargers game, because that defense for the Vikings, bro, they can absolutely, if they come out and they are. And Brian Flores did a better job game planning than Schotty, bro. We could be in for a long day because we already know our defense is liable to turn belly up. Because the Vikings defense is legit and that scheme is legit. So that is going to be a very interesting chess match.
Tackles handling Minnesota blitz is the highest rate in football after last week.
Yeah, again, it won't be just the tackles. I mean, they move a lot. They're going to be stunting and moving, and they're firing their backers a bunch. And I guess I saw the number we did talk about today, Harrison Smith. I mean, 14 years in the league. Wow. I mean, playing at a high level, had to pick last week. But, again, we have to protect Dak this week, but we also have to run the football. And, again, they're going to challenge you to do that because they're going to be multiple. And the coverage that they play is very vision-driven. Everybody kind of wants to keep eyes on the quarterback. And because of that, there's certain things that they make more difficult than others, but there's also things that we feel like we can take advantage of.
Joe White, Dallas One News.
Dak's eyes, moving the safeties around. Starting a progression, like fake progressions, like maybe when you snap the ball, you initially start your progression on one side of the field, but the play is really causing for the progression to be on the other side. So you kind of doing small things like that to move guys out of position. Being able to kind of run a lot of picks and rubs and stuff against teams that play a lot of man and stuff like that. That type of thing will help. Certain combinations, route combinations that can kind of create traffic downfield that can help free guys up, stuff like that. But when it pertains to stuff that Dak can do and take advantage of a defense that wants to keep their eyes on the backfield, is definitely more about the quarterback kind of controlling the field with his eyes.
Now, did you guys challenge Flo to be like, hey, time to step up, or how did you see him kind of respond?
No, you never have to worry about Flo, Joe. I mean, he's always ready. He's earned his stripes, per se. I mean, it wasn't just the Jets. He's done it multiple times. I just think, again, me and my word, consistency, I think that's what's so cool is how well he's playing each and every week. I mean, he's played good the last couple of weeks, even though he didn't put up 120 yards or whatever it was. He's played well the last couple of weeks, and I think his star is on the rise. You talk about a guy that's big, strong, physical, good with the ball in his hands, loves contact. Guys like that, sign me up for. I'll take him any day of the week.
The Vikings lead the league in interceptions thrown. A guy like Trevon obviously has had a history of making interceptions, one this year. How much of a potential opportunities for a guy like him, especially to build his confidence and maybe trying to get his hands on the ball this week?
Well, again, I think it starts with our ability to stop the run first. You got to make them have to throw it. JJ obviously very comfortable last week. I thought one of his better games, and certainly didn't have any interceptions. But again, we've talked a little bit about it. It starts by affecting the passer. You got to get people.
If they can't generate turnovers this week, man, Eberflus has got to go.
Around him one, and then again when the ball's up, you got to be able to find ways to get it turned over, and that's where again our biggest issue right now as a football team is the giveaway takeaway ratio. Us not protecting on offense and us not taking it away on defense.
John.
Saudis in the Athletic. Brian, what's your philosophy on fourth downs in terms of going for it? Is it a mathematical decision? Is it how much does feel play into it, and how many people are you consulting to make that decision?
Yeah, it's instincts. We'll have a plan side going into games, based on who you're playing, where you're playing. But a lot of it is instincts and your gut feel. I talk to Feeder a ton, and we kind of have a plan going in. Those plans can change. But at the end of the day, you kind of have an idea, when the drive's going, hey, if we get to a certain number, if it's 4th and 2 or less, let's say, hey, we're thinking go for it. And then you kind of look at your call and you're like, yeah, I'm good. And then there's sometimes you're like, no, I'm not. I don't feel great about this call. But it's a little bit of both, But again, I would say it's a lot of instincts, a lot of pre-planning, preparation, and then me and Feeder just kind of having quick conversations.
And how much does kind of the flow of the game in terms of if the offense is doing well, the defense is doing well, how much does that play into the decision?
A little bit. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't factor in at times. But you try to be pretty consistent and go with the plan and go with those things we talked about, the measures of, hey, field position matters. It might be a little bit longer at the 40-yard or a little shorter at the inside the 15. But I'd be lying if I said you're not at times adjusting or reacting to situations.
Okay.
It goes back to DallasCowboys.com. In having a conversation with Tyler Booker and Cooper Beebe, Cooper was really candid about the Detroit game and the protection issues. But something that stood out was him saying that you guys are trying to figure out why you had a lack of energy, a lack of juice in that Detroit game. Don't know how much of that was the fact that you played 4 games in 17 days, but how can you guard against that and coming out flat against the Vikings, especially as you guys try to figure out how to get off to a fast start?
Yeah, I think, I would agree. I didn't think we had our best day overall. I think, were we tired? I don't know. I mean, we had to play a lot of games, but at the end of the day, I
that's a very real thing. I mean, I don't know why we keep acting like 4 games in 17 days isn't absolutely bonkers, bro. That sounds ridiculous. 4 games in 17 days, 4 days of 200 simulated car crashes that you're putting your body through in the course of 2 weeks, essentially. No, it's a lot, bro.
I believe in this group of young men. I believe in the fact that we are an energetic group. You can't watch our sidelines and not know that there's not juice and energy and guys cheering for the other side of the ball and things like that. And I'm not going to let one game after a tight window of time affect the way I look at it. And in terms of worried about these guys and their ability to come out without a lot of energy this game, I think it's, in my opinion, 0%. And we do need to start faster. We've kind of looked at some things and we need to score more points early on and get more stops early on. And we've got an idea of how we think we can do that, but now we have to go out and execute it.
Love it.
Clarence. K9 has become a target for people looking for what's wrong with the run defense. What do you like about him? What has he done well? And also, what is Logan?
Clarence, look, y'all. If I'm anything, I am fair. I was roasting him at the beginning of the video because I love this. At this point, it's just a running joke. Y'all know what it is. But Clarence has asked the best questions out of everybody in this presser today, y'all. I can't believe I'm saying that. Clarence Hill has asked the best questions out of everybody in this presser today. Real talk, bro. As much as I don't agree with some of the BS he be on, I'm also not the type of person that believes that everything someone does is just 100% wrong. I don't believe in that. I don't think that's true. I think that's a very ignorant way to live your life. I still stand on everything I said about Chill, though. I really do. I still stand on everything I said about Clarence, Rack, cheat, cornball ass. But he's asked the best questions today.
Need to do to get more opportunities?
Yeah, so number one, when we added Logan, we were just trying to get, we're adding depth, right? Getting better. K9, I love his physicality, man. I love the fact that he can run and hit, and we've talked a little bit at times about his eye progression and seeing things like that. Logan's been here a couple weeks, and I think both guys give us, a chance to play well and win. And again, to the naked eye, sometimes you look at things and you're like, oh, it's that guy's fault, or it's this guy's fault, or oh, that was Schotty's problem, or whatever.
Schotty, hell no, boy! We can see the tape and see K9 running right into blocks. We can see the tape, cuz. We see it. Hell no, bruh. Hell no, we ain't going for that one. We can see it. We can see the tape and see K9 taking himself out of plays. We can see the tape. We can see his first step on a run play is going backwards. We see it.
And, that's what we sign up for. But at the same time, it's not always what it appears to be on film.
No!
And so, what we need to do from a defensive standpoint is get back to playing the way that we were against Philadelphia late, Kansas City for the most part throughout the game, in Las Vegas. And that's not just about one guy. That's about all 11 guys doing right and communicating and things like that. And I do like the competition that we've created in that room, though.
Nick.
Andrew Van Ginkel is one of the best screen defenders in the NFL. What makes him such a pest in that?
God, what is thinking love K9 so much? K9, your ass better come up and make some of the most clutch plays. You better be instrumental in this team doing some special stuff to end the season now, because, boy, your coach is showing some of the utmost confidence in you, dog. Utmost.
Specific situation, and how do you prep for something like that so you can keep him in the playbook?
Yeah, he's just an excellent football player, man. Great instincts, really good blitzer, great feel for coverage, very disruptive. You can't watch the film without seeing him tip balls and intercept balls. And this group does a nice job. Again, they're veterans, right? So they know if they can't get to the quarterback, they kind of stop and wait. And you have to be very careful when you're trying to throw quick screens around him because he's pretty slippery. But I've always really appreciated the guy for the type of football player that he is. And we played him a couple years back when he was with Miami, and same thing, extremely disruptive. But seriously, look at the roster. Look at the defensive roster and how many veterans they have. Whether it's Allen, Hargrove, Renard, Van Ginkel, Murphy. They have a type, and I understand.
Alrighty.
Thanks, guys.
All right. That was Coach Schotty. This was a good one, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I'll see y'all on the next one. How about them Cowboys, bro? This was a good one, and I think I'm gonna have another. I got something else for y'all today. Go be sure to subscribe. 45K. We on the way.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.